Georgia is coming off back-to-back national titles and are poised to win it again in 2023. Looking at how talented the Dogs will be this fall and for years to come had me asking a question. Who will win more championships over the next 5 seasons? Georgia or the field? To start the video, let's take a look at the last time we had a back-to-back champion. You have to go back to the 2011 and 2012 seasons when Alabama went back-to-back. If we asked that question after the 2012 season, what would have been the right answer? Alabama or the field? Well, in 2013, Alabama was number one in the polls until the very last week of the season when they lost to the Auburn Tigers. That led to them missing the title game as Auburn and Florida State met and Florida State won the title that year. The 2014 season was much of the same. Their losses both came while being ranked number one in the country. They lost to Ole Miss in the regular season, then lost to eventual national champ Ohio State. The following season, with Derrick Henry leading the way, the Tide captured another title. In 2016, they returned to the title game, but lost on a last-second touchdown to Deshaun Watson and Clemson. So 4 years in, the field had 3 championships and Alabama had 1. But in 2017, they got another one when Tua threw a game-winning touchdown pass to Devontae Smith. Over the 5-year span, it wasn't crazy to ask Bama or the field for more championships when you put context behind it. They were a missed field goal and kick 6 away from playing Florida State in the championship in 2013. Not saying they would have won, but it would have been a very big opportunity for Nick Saban. They were also one stop on the last play of the game for winning another one as well against Deshaun Watson and Clemson. That brings me back to Georgia. They just had the most dominant championship performance we've seen in quite some time. The prior season, they had one of the more dominant defenses of all time in college football and sent over half their starters to the NFL. Georgia's 2-title run is very similar to Alabama's back in 2011 and 2012. With that being said, I think Georgia has a very good chance to win more titles in the field over the next 5 years. I broke this down into 3 categories: recruiting, coaching, and opportunity. Let's start out with recruiting. Kirby Smart and Georgia have been near the top of recruiting ever since he took the job. All of their draft picks from 2021 and 2022 were part of top 3 classes. Expect that trend to continue. The last 3 cycles, they have had a top 3 class and are currently sitting at number 1 for the 2024 class. There are players on their current roster most people don't even know exist yet. Those same players will be all conference and projected first and second round draft picks in just a few years. There's a blueprint that Kirby Smart saw Nick Saban use during his time at Alabama. He brought that same formula with him to Athens, and it's paying off in a big way. They're going to consistently get the best players, and pairing them with elite coaching maximizes that talent. That brings us to the next category, which is coaching. When you're a top program in the country, you can go out and hire just about any coordinator or assistant you want. Kirby Smart understands that, but he also knows he can develop coaches from within. The great coaches get their coordinator's job elsewhere. I think of a guy like Dan Lanning. He took his first coordinator job under Kirby Smart back in 2019. He built up the defense and recruited and developed a lot of those NFL draft picks. Obviously, Dan Lanning's success got him his first head coaching job out at Oregon. Todd Monken is another great example. He totally changed the perception of a Georgia offense, and with that, he got the offensive coordinator job for the Baltimore Ravens. Next in line for a job promotion is Glenn Schumann. He hasn't let up one bit in recruiting, and the on-field coaching is at a very high level. These coaches leaving are a sign of a great program. Like I said, Coach Smart has deep ties and gets nearly any coach he wants on his staff. The last category is opportunity. What I mean by opportunity is the fact that the playoff will be expanded to 12 teams. I expect Georgia to be in the 12-team playoff for the next 5 years, and they probably would have been in the 14 playoff if they kept that format. This is important because once Georgia is in the playoff, they'll most likely be a favorite to win it all. The SEC will be adding Texas and Oklahoma to what will already be a very tough conference. You also have Tennessee, who is on the rise as well, so Georgia will have multiple good teams to bolster their strength of schedule even if they lose 1 or 2 games. The only scenario that Georgia will not win multiple titles over the next 5 years is if they totally miss on the quarterback position. While it is a possibility, I don't see a program like Georgia missing out on the top quarterbacks. They're currently in the battle for the top quarterback in the 2024 class, Dylan Raiola. If they land him, added with the best defensive recruiting classes for years to come, they'll be a very tough team to beat. To end the video, I have some scenarios that could threaten Georgia's title chances over the next 5 seasons. First, I think Alabama will win at least one more title under Nick Saban. if not two of them. Like Georgia, we all know Coach Saban could put it all together and have the best team in the country any given year. Secondly, we can't count out Ryan Day and Ohio State simply because of the talent they're putting together. They were a field goal away from beating the Dogs just this past year and most likely going on to beat TCU. If things come together in Columbus, depending on the playoff matchups, you could see Ohio State win a title. Thirdly, what if we have a 2019 LSU scenario where a team has everything go right and are nearly unstoppable? While it is unlikely, I'm not sure anyone was saying 2019 LSU would be the best team during their 2018 season. There's always going to be a lot of unknowns in college football, which makes it so great. But with all that being said, let me know down in the comments who you guys will take. Who's going to win more titles over the next 5 years, Georgia or everyone else? Also, let me know what criteria you went by and how you got your answer. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.